वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओके। ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं तत्पादं वन्दे श्री गुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वर। Okay, so we finished the first 3 chapters. So till now Sutta Goswami, there were the questions, then there were the answers, there were all. Sutta Goswami established that Krishna is tu Bhagavan Swayam. Now we're going to go into a little history of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this chapter talks about the history. How did Bhagavatam come to its existence? What is so this is the appearance of Sri Narad Muni. Okay, so this next 3 chapters, 4, 5 and 6, it will be a set. It talks about the conversation between Vyasadeva and Narad Muni. We will talk about why Narad Muni appeared to Vyasadeva, what was Narad Muni's background, his previous lifetime, the history of Narad Muni, and how Vyasadeva came to write or compose the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so this again, like earlier, the conversation was between the sages of Naimisharanya and Sutta Goswami. So here it is a conversation between Narad Muni and Vyasadeva. And then later we will see conversation between Shukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. And then also afterwards we'll see Maitreya Rishi and Vidur. So everything in Bhagavatam is about questions and answers. Like even in Bhagavad Gita, it is questions and answers. So it's very important to, if there is a doubt, always must address it so that it doesn't form a knot in your heart. Yeah. So we'll start. Vyasauvacha. Someone please repeat.
Vyasauvacha.
Iti bruvanam samstuya.
Iti bruvanam samstuya.
Muninam dirgha satrinam.
मुनीनां दीर्घसत्रिणां
Vriddha Kulapati Sutam
वृद्धकुलपति सूतं
Bhavricha Shaunako Bravit.
पौवृच्च शौनको ब्रवीत्.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Vyasadeva said, on hearing Suta Goswami speak thus, Shaunak Muni, who was the elderly, learned leader of the rishis, engaged in that prolonged sacrificial ceremony, congratulated Suta Goswami by addressing him as follows. So here the symptoms of Shaunaka Muni is given, and also what is the qualification of being a leader. So one qualification that should be Kulapati. Kulapati. He is the head of the assembly. Yeah. And he should be Vriddha. He should be elderly. And he should be learned. He should be Bahurichaha. So these are qualifications of being the head or the leader, Kulapati. So a person who is elderly should be given the respect of being the head, but not only should he just be elderly, but he should be learned also. Yeah. So in a meeting of learned men, when there are congratulations or addresses for the speaker, the qualifications of the congratulator should be as follows. So when you give a vote of thanks, the person who is this etiquette should be followed. That he should be the leader, and he should be elderly, and he should be, he should have the qualifications, right? He must be vastly learned also. Sri Shaunak Rishi had all these qualifications, and thus he stood up to congratulate Sri Suta Goswami when he expressed his desire to present Srimad Bhagavatam exactly as he heard it from Shukadeva Goswami and also realized it personally. Personal realization does not mean that one should, out of vanity, attain his own learning by trying to serve Acharya. He must have full confidence in the previous Acharya, and at the same time, he must realize the subject matter so nicely that he can present the matter for the circumstances in a suitable manner. So, the biggest example of this is Srila Prabhupada. So he never surpassed the previous acharyas, Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sridhar Swami. He only presented theirs in a more palatable way for us because of our circumstances. So it should be a little more contemporary for us. Yeah, so he never changed the subject matter. He never had his own concoctions. The original purpose of the text must be maintained. He always made sure it was that. No obscure meaning should be screwed out of it, yet it should be presented in an interesting manner for the understanding of the audience. This is called realization. The leader of the assembly, Shaunak, could estimate the value of the speaker, Sri Suta Goswami, simply by his uttering Yathadhitam and Yathamati. And therefore, he was very glad to congratulate him in ecstasy. No learned man should be willing to hear a person who does not represent the original Acharya. So the speaker and the audience were bona fide in this meeting where Bhagavatam was being recited for the second time. First time when Shukadeva Goswami recited it to Parikshit Maharaj. So now second time. That should be the standard of recitation of Bhagavatam so that real purpose can be served without difficulty. Unless this situation is created, Bhagavatam recitation for extraneous purposes is useless labor, both for the speaker and for the audience. Yeah, Shrama evahi kevalam. Okay. So now we'll go to text 2. Shaunakuvacha. Please repeat.
Shaunakuvacha.
Suta Suta Mahabhaga.
सूत महाभाग
vadano vadatam vara
वदनो वदतांवरा
katham bhagavatim punyam
कथं भागवतीं पुण्यां
yad aha bhagavan shukah.
यद् आह भगवान् शुकः.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Shaunak Muni said, O Suta Goswami, you are the most fortunate and respected of all those who can speak and recite. Mahabhaga, most fortunate. Yeah. And please relate this pious message of Srimad Bhagavatam, which was spoken by the great and powerful sage Shukadev Goswami. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Suta Goswami is twice addressed herein by Shaunak Goswami out of great joy, because he and the members of the assembly are very eager to hear the text of Bhagavatam uttered by Shukadev Goswami. So he's saying Suta Mahabhaga. Yeah? They were not interested in hearing it from a bogus person who would interpret it in his own way to suit his purpose. Generally, the so-called writers are either professional readers or so-called learned impersonalists who cannot enter into the transcendental personal activities of the Supreme Person. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvata. One who knows can get out of this material world. But some impersonalists, they cannot reveal the Bhagavatam's true nature to you because they have not entered into the transcendental personal activities of the Lord themselves. Why? Because they are impersonalists. They don't believe in the personal form of the Lord. Such impersonalists twist some meaning out of Bhagavatam to suit and support impersonalist views, and the professional readers at once go to the 10th canto to misexplain the most confidential part of the Lord's pastimes. So what happens that if you do not show discretion and go and listen to such reciters is that your Bhakti Lata Bija will be destroyed. So you have to be very, very careful. This Bhakti Lata Bija, the seed of devotional service which has been given to you, you got it through Vaishnav. It is your Sukriti, it has been planted in your heart, is very, very tender. But when you, without any discretion, hear Bhagavatam recitations from impersonalists or people who just want to make money, bogus persons, then your Bhakti Lata Bij is destroyed. This Bhakti Lata Bij is very, very rare to attain. Yeah. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. So it is through Krishna's mercy and Guru's mercy, a Vaishnav's mercy, that you've received it. So if that gets destroyed, again receiving it will be very, very difficult. Because even Krishna will forgive a bogus person, but he will not forgive an impersonalist. Yeah. So only one who is prepared to present Bhagavatam in the light of Shukadev Goswami, and only those who are prepared to hear Shukadev Goswami and his representative, are bona fide participants in the transcendental discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because the purpose of Bhagavatam is to take you from Shraddha to Prema. So you also have to be qualified. You have to be a bona fide participant. That your interest in learning Bhagavatam is to reach to the point of Prema, from Bhava and Prema. And in this journey, you remove all your anarthas. So therefore, it is important that you listen from a bona fide. Then only you will reach the highest goal, which is Krishna Prema. Okay, text 3. Kasmin yuge pravritteyam
Kasmin yuge pravarteyam
sthane vakena hetuna
sthane vakena hetuna
kutha sanchodita Krishna
Kutah sanchoditah Krishnah
Kritvan Samahitam Munihi.
Kritvan Samhitam Munihi.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. In what period and at what place was this first begun, and why was this taken up? From where did Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas, the great sage, get the inspiration to compile this literature? So now Shaunaka Rishi is asking Sutta Goswami more questions. He is asking that in what period and what place did this all begin? And why was this taken up? Why was this great task taken up? From where did Vyasadeva get the inspiration to compile this literature called Srimad Bhagavatam? Because Srimad Bhagavatam is the special contribution of Srila Vyasadeva, there are so many inquiries by the learned Shaunak Muni. It was known to them that Srila Vyasadeva had already explained the text of the Vedas in various ways up to the Mahabharata for the understanding of less intelligent women, Shudras, and fallen members of the family of the twice born. Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental to all of them because it has nothing to do with anything mundane. So the inquirers are very intelligent and relevant. Inquiries are intelligent and relevant. Even though they knew that Vyasadeva had done all this, now they wanted to know why and how did he get this inspiration. There must have been some reason, because so many literatures were compiled, the 4 Vedas and then the Mahabharata, which is considered the 5th Veda, Puranas, Upanishads, so many. So then why this Srimad Bhagavatam? Okay, text 4. Tasya putro mahayogi.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranams.
Dandavat pranam to you.
Can I ask you a question here before we move further?
Sure, please.
This comes up again and again, and I've been asked this question previously also. Why do they mention the less intelligent women, Shudras, and labor class? What is it about women that is less intelligent, and what light should we understand that? Because this has been mentioned again and again, even in the purports of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, that is true. Even in so many years, I've also heard this question again and again and again, and people actually get very offended by this word.
Yeah.
And they really take it up very personally, and many of them have left classes also just because of this one word. But we should understand that anything mentioned in the scriptures is in relation to spiritual knowledge. So when we say less intelligent, it doesn't mean that the person is less intelligent, or or women are considered less intelligent. No, it is for those people who have less knowledge or are not as intelligent in spiritual knowledge. So there are many women who are completely averse. Maybe they have PhDs, or maybe they are extremely intelligent in many different ways, maybe geniuses in art and music and dance and wonderful, even so many homemakers are so intelligent. But we are only referring here to spiritual knowledge. So when we say less intelligent in any of the purports or in relation to the scriptures, it is spiritual knowledge. So basically, Shudras and women who are less intelligent are those who are not inclined towards spirituality, are more interested in material. They are only more attracted to sense gratification. So therefore, to make them interested, then Srila Vyasdev came up with the fifth Veda, which was the Mahabharata. And through the Mahabharata, a lot of spiritual understanding was given in the form of stories. Puranas also, in the form of stories, gave a lot of spiritual knowledge. So each one has to be approached according to their whatever they like. Like if I like sweets, then if I visit someone's house, then that person would serve sweets and not something spicy because I like it. Instead of saying that, oh, you are not intelligent because you don't like spicy food. So Vyasadeva was so intelligent. Of course, Vyasadeva in this, he's a literary incarnation of the Lord. He is the Shakti Avesha avatar. But in this Manvantara, it is Krishna himself who came as Vyasadeva. So he knew that this was the only way of attracting them. Otherwise, very high philosophy would be lost on them. Therefore, when we say less intelligent women, it's considered those who are not inclined towards spiritual knowledge. So therefore, less intelligent.
Okay.
And,
Thank you.
not
satisfied?
One thing I did
No.
not understand, this
Not
twice
really.
born men, fallen members of twice born men.
Fallen members of the family of twice born. Twice born men are those who are Brahmanas. Twice born, Dvijas. Because once you are born, and then the second time when you get Diksha, you get a second birth. And your Guru is your father. So even though born in a Brahmin family, and but those who do not follow Brahminical values, but waver away from them, so therefore again they are far from spiritual knowledge. So for them to be given some kind of spiritual knowledge, they have to be given some things which is palatable. So we should understand that these people are basically those kind of people who do not, think with their intelligence, with their mind, but they think with their heart. They're easily wavered towards sense gratification.
Yeah,
Women as such in Bhagavad Gita is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada as less intelligent as a general statement. But he didn't mean it that women are less intelligent. He didn't mean that. He meant that women who are not inclined towards spirituality, and also women do not think with their mind, with their intelligence. We always think with our heart. You know your child should not be doing that, but then they say, chalo aaj ke liye chalo theek hai. But a father will put his foot down and say, no, you will not do it. So it's just a small example I'm giving. That's it.
Yeah,
Anjali, say no. Yeah, say that.
Mataji, if anything, from what I have seen around or something, women tend to be more spiritually inclined than men.
So he's not talking about that, no?
No. When you said less intelligent women, matlab ki women who are not actually less intelligent, but less spiritually inclined and more materially. But as a general rule, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think women tend to get are more spiritually inclined. I mean, the numbers on an average rather than men being spiritually inclined. I don't know what the others feel.
Priya Mataji,
Can
I share? Actually, Sheetal asked me this question just 2 days back, and we were discussing on this. So, can I share what I think? I mean, it's just my thought, and then you can please correct me, and we can discuss a little bit on this.
Sure, please.
Even if it's at the cost of no more verses today.
That's fine.
Because this comes up in our classes time and again. So My two bits on this would be is that for whatever I have gathered so far, is that yes, like Anjali said, women are more spiritually inclined compared to men. जल्दी आते हैं ISKCON में भी women जल्दी आती हैं, पूजा पाठ के साथ ज्यादा जुड़ी होती हैं, आदमियों को खींच के लाना पड़ता है. But that's कर्मकांडी पूजा. And also women, I feel, are very attached to children and house, home and hearth. Hence, all these statements have been made in light of liberation from this world, spiritual liberation, not material. Materially, we are very, very accomplished. But spiritual liberation, जहां तक सब कुछ घर बार बच्चे छोड़कर जाने की बात आती है इस दुनिया से, they are very weak because they are so attached to their children and to their house. Hence, I think women के लिए compared to men ज्यादा मुश्किल है यहाँ से निकलना. शायद इसलिए क्वीन कुंती भी हाथ जोड़ के कह रही है कि मेरे बच्चों की ममता मेरे मन से जरा निकाल दे. कुंती, such a caliber of as her is saying कि मेरे मन से मेरा बच्चों के लिए मेरी जो ममता है वो निकाल दे ताकि मैं I can be your devotee life after life. And why is it recommended for men to become brahmachari? हमें ISKCON में भी जितने brahmacharis हैं who decided not to take a woman in their life is because स्त्री itself means expansion of material desires. तो जैसे woman life में आती है आप अच्छी तरह फिक्स हो जाते हो इस मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में. अब घर चाहिए, फिर एक इनकम चाहिए इस घर को पालने के लिए, फिर वुमेन को सिक्योरिटी देनी है, फिर बच्चे आ गए और सिक्योरिटी और पालना पोसना, तो वो फंस जाता है, निकल ही नहीं पाता. इसलिए कहते हैं एक स्त्री दूर है तो सब इट्स इजी टू गेट आउट ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड. So I guess we may be, puja part and karmakandi and spiritually inclined, but when it comes to liberation, I think it's tough for women compared to men. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
See, let me tell you one thing. First of all, let me start with saying that the scriptures are never wrong. The reason is that the very fact that you have a woman, female or a woman's body is because you were so attracted to sense gratification even in your previous life.
Yeah.
And therefore you got a birth in a woman's body. That's one point. Second point is, yes, less intelligent in reference to any scripture means less spiritual knowledge. It does not mean that the woman is less intelligent. It is no woman is less intelligent when you have to handle your in-laws, your family, your children, bring them up, teach them values. No mother can be less intelligent unless the person is really mentally challenged. No woman is less, right? Yes, we do expand the field of enjoyment. But now another thing I want to tell you is, you may be spiritually inclined, yeah? But if you see men who are spiritually inclined, they will do everything to make this their last life. But you are still, abhi mera bachcha, abhi uski shadi, sorry Anjali, I'm not telling you, this is in general. Abhi uski shadi, abhi pota, abhi poti ko school, everything. But a man will be detached once the son or the daughter gets married, he'll be detached.
Yeah. Yes.
He will not think about I will babysit my grandson, I will babysit my granddaughter. Nope. Therefore, we are not intelligent. Why? Because we are not cutting that bond. Secondly, you're talking about women being more inclined spiritually. I always thought that myself till I came to Doha. In Doha, none of the wives are spiritually inclined. All the Prabhus are here spiritually inclined.
Oh.
Many of them have even taken shelter, taken Diksha, but the women refuse to even come for programs. They refuse to chant even one round. They actually have formed a group and they make fun of their husbands.
Oh,
But now let me tell you something. Just tell me whether a woman is intelligent or man is more intelligent after I finish. None of the husband care. They've taken Diksha. They're chanting 16 rounds. They go for programs on Friday. How many of you have done that? How many of you have said, no, I will go to the temple every Sunday morning. I'm going to take Diksha. I don't care whether you're coming with me or not. This is what I'm going to do in life. You want to follow, you follow me. Otherwise, leave me alone. You do what you want. I will do what I want. How many of you have said that? None of you, right? No, we can't. Why? Because we have not realized that this is real intelligence. That spirituality is the real intelligence. We are still attached. We are still under our husband's shelter instead of being under Krishna's shelter. So therefore, we are less intelligent. But the moment you start chanting, you are no longer a woman. You're a Vaishnavi. So this does not apply to you. So don't think about it.
One last thing I would like to mention here, that Vedic scriptures also say this, that a woman when is young should be under her father, and when she gets older she should be under husband for protection basically, and later on when she is old she should be under her son.
Under her son's shelter. Yes.
This
Because-
is for safety.
Because we need to be sheltered.
Yes.
All this women's liberation and all that is fine. But this is the fact of life. Secondly, women never used to go to Gurukul, right? We never used to. We were at home. So who was our guru? Does it mean that none of the women were literate in the previous times? They were all literate. Who was their guru? Their husband was their guru. Their father first taught them at home. Mothers taught them at home. And then after marriage, because they were married very young, the husbands were their guru. So they took Diksha from the guru. So if you see all these great acharyas, their wives were great devotees. Let's talk about Lord Nityananda's wife, Janamama. She is a first ever female Diksha guru. She was giving Diksha.
Yeah.
So she doesn't come under this category. But I still want to hear what Anjali wanted to say.
My thing was, ki, as far as my knowledge or experience goes, or what I have seen, I get the feel that women tend to be more spiritually inclined. Like जैसे विशाखा माता जी said कि men को तो खींच के लाना पड़ता है. And honestly speaking, अपने घर में तो मैं वही देखती हूँ. तो I get that feel. Baki, this I agreed. Yes, they have always been under protection, father, husband, son. That holds true for, I guess, all religions. Even Mohammedan women are not allowed to go for Makkah, Medina for the Hajj without a male with them, as my knowledge goes. So I guess women across all religions, irrespective of the religion, were meant to be kept. About how far the liberated women of today agree, or I don't know, maybe the next generation, I really don't know.
See, the thing is, what happens is, Anjali, is that it is very easy for a woman to become a devotee because we naturally can take shelter of someone. We naturally, from our birth, we are under our father's shelter, mother's shelter, brother's shelter, husband's shelter, everyone's shelter. So surrender to Krishna is very easy for us because that's what we've been doing all our lives. But the other side of the coin is that we feel that we are not independent. We are dependent on our husbands, whereas we should be dependent on Krishna. So what we do all our life is wait for our husbands. When he will become a devotee, then I will do something. Till that time I will pray, I will do my... Then it becomes karma kandi only. You know, like Vishakha Mataji was saying, karma kandi ho jata hai. But that karma kandi should become karma yoga. You have to attach yourself to Krishna. But when a male, when a Prabhu gets into the movement, you see many times the progress is very fast and very pakka. Then they don't waver unless they have some kind of bad experience, which is rare, which is normal. I mean, everyone has some off days, but otherwise they do a lot of Dhrida Bhakti. I mean, I'm telling you because I'm struggling here. I'm surrounded by Prabhus. The Matajis just don't want to come. And then the Yatra says, you have to do it and you have to, kind of motivate them to do it. How? It's very difficult because they don't want to come for programs with their husbands. But at the same time, they'll make their own plans. They'll go, they have their sari group. Then they have their kitty group. They have time for all that. But they won't even pick up the beads and chant one round. So many of their husbands are initiated. But the wives, in fact, some of them refuse to even give up onion garlic in the house, even though the husband is initiated. You know, they refuse. They tell their husbands, no, मैं तो ऐसे ही खाना बनाऊंगी. So I've seen both sides of it. In Dubai, it was so difficult getting a Prabhu into the program. Here, it's so difficult getting a Mataji into the program. So it's not about man and woman at all. And I think now it's just about intelligence. So yeah, what Vishakha Mataji you're saying is right. Some Matajis get very offended by this statement. And I have seen many of them drop off. There's this whole heated argument. How can we be called less intelligent?
Yeah, and also like Anjali was saying that, I don't know what the liberated women will say. If we just spend even half an hour or 30 minutes on Googling these so-called liberated women, they are the most unhappy creatures on the planet.
Absolutely.
Because by nature, a woman looks for shelter. She needs shelter. She's looking for it intrinsically. Chahe usko live-in relationship bolo, ya relationship bolo, but what is that? It's just looking for shelter. And by not refusing to take shelter, they're miserable. They are being exploited.
Absolutely.
Then the Why Me movement has started. They look at the long line. So really, Shastra jhoot nahi bolte. Hamari basic.
Correct. You know, I feel sad for these women who, go and say that, oh, we don't need to get married. I'm on my own. I'm independent. We live in... What does it take for a man to walk out of the door? You're the one left behind with a child. You're left behind with responsibility. What does it take for a man? He just walks out of the door. Sometimes he doesn't even have so many clothes like us. He just takes one suitcase. All his clothes will fit into that suitcase. He'll walk out. What are you left behind with? Your false prestige. That's it. अब वही झंडा लहराते रहो कि I'm independent, फिर रोते रहो. What is the point? What is the point? I keep telling everyone, why do you want to get into this thing about, oh, I'm independent, I will do it on my own? Just enjoy life. Your husband is there to take care of you. Your father is there. Your sons are there. Go deeper into bhakti.
And I think liberation has been given a wrong meaning. Liberation, something which is physical. I think liberation is more of something inside. If we are liberated inside, that is true liberation. Even if we are within the bounds of the house, we can be more liberated than somebody who is there. According to me, liberation, I think, is liberation from our bondages.
So, Vinti Mataji, being a student of Bhagavatam now, you should know what is the definition of liberation. So, what is the definition of liberation for you? Forget about others.
For me, it is मन से कि अगर आपका मन attached नहीं है, for like Bhagavad Gita में at many places, स्थित प्रज्ञ also he says, and then he says सत मद भक्ता जो जिसके लिए यश अपयश लाभ हानि everything is immaterial. I think when we are not affected by any of these dualities, that is what liberation is. When we are totally fixed in him, when we are totally fixed into Krishna, and we are so insulated that we are not affected. I think that is the point where that is what is liberation. Even if we are
So in short, liberation means the moment you realize you are not the body and
yes,
you are the soul. That means you are liberated even though you are in this body. So therefore, anything which affects this body or your subtle body should not affect you. But anything which takes you away from nourishing the soul should affect you. Then you are liberated.
yes,
But it takes a lot of practice to come to that.
yes,
That realization only will come when your japa is good. Offenseless japa. So we are doing this Nama Tattva, like, we are doing Birhad Bhagavatamrit, I'm doing this. So in that we're doing about Nam Tattva. Nam Tattva is the moment you start chanting. I'm talking about 16, not just picking up the bead and doing one round and then tomorrow doing no rounds. Talking about regularly doing your 16 rounds. Your past, your present, and your future karma, sin, everything is destroyed. Past, present, and future. So then what are you now? Okay, your past is, okay, past to theek hai, khatam ho gaya. Present bhi khatam ho gaya, chalo, future. So then what all these things which you're getting today, the salary you're getting today, or whatever you are going through life, is it law of karma which is acting on you? Is it because of your past karma that you're getting this as karma? Let's say I'm going to work and my salary is 1 lakh rupees a month. Is it my karma that I'm getting that salary at the end of the month? No, it is no longer. The law of karma does not work on you anymore because Krishna takes over. So therefore, what you're getting is Krishna giving it to you directly. So if you're not getting something or something is taken away, is because Krishna wants you to learn something out of it. Because through that process, he's bringing you closer to him. Your bhakti will become deeper. So what is happening now is when you don't have this past, present, and future, and you're doing offenseless chanting, so therefore anything which comes to you, you should have the understanding is because Krishna is giving you. So therefore, the soul and the Paramatma, these are the two only activating features in your body. Your gross body and your subtle body does not mind. It does not matter. So therefore, you are liberated. So that is your definition of liberation. It doesn't matter whether, okay, tomorrow you lose your job, you lose your money, you just, from here to there, you just been transported from a big bungalow, you've gone to a 1 bedroom. Does it matter? It shouldn't. Why? Because it's a bodily designation. What matters is whether your bhakti will deepen. Your dependence on Krishna will deepen. Whether you will take more shelter of Krishna. And that's what he wants. Why did he give so much distress to the Pandavas? Why did he give so much distress to Kunti, Mata? Why? Because they depended on him. They were dependent. They were completely dependent on him. And he gave it all back also, right? Whenever needed, he was there to protect the Pandavas. Whenever needed, he was there. He was always there. Yes, they went through a lot of problems in life, but it brought them closer to him. They are his always eternal pure devotees. So, if you understand you are not this body, you are the soul, then you will be liberated even in this body. Therefore, you are not less intelligent. You are the most intelligent. Whether you are a male, female, it doesn't matter. Because the moment you get spiritual knowledge, you're intelligent. That's it. So this thing you must all meditate on. You must meditate on this point, that how to be aloof from what you're getting in life. Sita Ushna, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether you get happiness, whether you get distress. You have to be aloof. If you're happy, you should thank Krishna and depend on him more. If you're unhappy, if you're in distress, then even more you depend on him. And be happy with what you get. Sometimes what happens is we fight with the Lord. I'm doing 16 round japa, come on. You can't give me $1 million. What is this? Come on, $1 million de do, I'll leave everything, I'll go settle in Vrindavan. फिर क्या? नाम ही तो जपना है. और कुछ करूँगा ही नहीं मैं. बस $1 million दे दो, मैं अपने बच्चों को settle कर दूँ, मैं चलूँ. That's not how bhakti works. Krishna is more intelligent than any of us. He knows who's cheating. So our wealth is our japa mala. Please, these sessions which I'm doing is only brought me to this understanding is that you don't need anything else than your japa mala. If you have your japa mala in your bag, in your hand always, you're like have you ever seen a sannyasi worrying where he's going to get his next meal? The people are waiting to serve him. Have you ever seen a sannyasi saying, I don't know where I'm going to eat today? Ridiculous question, isn't it? It's a ridiculous question. So if you have the dependence on your mala, I tell you, the Lord will always protect you. You don't need anything else in life. You don't need a handbag with your credit card. It's all, yeah, you need it, maybe. But go without it. Go without it one day. You see what happens. You go without your mala one day, you'll be miserable. I'm talking about those who are attached to their beads, attached to the holy names. You'll be miserable. I saw in the airport one Prabhu, he could not find his japa mala. He unpacked his suitcases. He brought everything. He just took out everything. He was literally crying because he couldn't find his japa mala. And we were like, now what to do, doesn't matter, take another mala. No, these are my beads on which my guru chanted and gave me. And finally he found it. And then he went. So that attachment to holy names, I hope I get it someday. But it should come. So be attached to that. Yeah. So that is liberation. That is liberation. Yeah. Should we continue, Vishakha Mataji? Or any other questions anyone else has? Any other discussion you want to talk in? Veji, I know, had her hand up. But her hand is... Veji, you want to
Hare
say
Krishna,
something?
Mataji. No, actually, you touched on that point, Mataji, because, about this Gurukul. the reason why, and I'm convinced with that explanation, that has taken me forward. It was there for a long time, and I put it to rest in the sense, it is like, I know my faith is strong, and there will be an explanation, and it will present itself. So the moment I read about it, I heard it somewhere also, that in those days, women did not have the opportunity, right? So that is why, or even, it's just the brahmanas, the kids who go there, that is why, they've been able to get the, the knowledge, and they did not have the opportunity to get this knowledge, and that is why, they're being referred to that way. So that's what I wanted to share, Madhuri.
Reggie, actually, I don't agree with you. It is not that they did not get the opportunity.
But not like a Gurukul, right? Going there, being on par with them
Why?
and learning it.
No, but we are so I don't know, forward thinking now that we go to schools and we expose ourselves and all. Women were so sheltered from prying eyes of others. Women were not allowed to go outside so that no other man would see her. She was so sheltered. She was the most precious jewel of a family. She was so precious, so that she wouldn't have to, take the harsh conditions of walking, living in a Gurukul. Gurukul talking about opportunity is so harsh. You live in an ashram, you have to wake up before sunrise, you have to go to the river, have a bath, come back, bring water, clean the ashram, go collect vegetables, help the Guru Ma with cooking, cleaning, fetch wood for the yagya, get all the yagya samagri ready, carry big things, eat only once a day, sleep on the floor in the night, always service. How could a girl do that? Girls are considered so delicate. Why are we sheltered? Because we are the ones who give birth to the next generation. Our body has to be fit. Our body has to be sheltered, taken care of. Opportunity is a very overstated word. Very overstated word. They were not given the opportunity. They were taught at home. They were taught by their Brahmana fathers who were acharyas, who were so learned. They were taught by their husbands. Ramanujacharya taught his wife. So many acharyas taught their wives. All of them taught their wives. The wives were as conversant. A wife would get all the yagya samagri ready. She didn't even have to be told what needs to be done. She knew everything, how to make the yagya kund, what all needs to be done, which yagya needs what. She knew all the mantras. She knew everything. Everything. Not because she was only trained in doing that. It's because she was taught all these things. She was well versed with all the scriptures. However, how much ever the husband knew, that much the wife knew. It's not about opportunity. It wasn't a lack of opportunity that they were not sent to Gurukul. They were not sent to Gurukul because there was no need to expose them to harsh conditions of life, of living in a forest. Secondly, living away from the mother, especially at a time when, they have to nurture their body because they would attain puberty and they would not be exposed to others. And but now we are living in this world where right from kindergarten we are going out. Right from kindergarten we don't, there is no discrimination, we are exposed. So we can't understand that thinking. We think that is a very regressive, but that is a very protective way. Women were very, 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 very nurtured. I think now we are doing everything. We're doing everything. We give birth to children also. We take care of the children also. We are earning money also. When the maid doesn't come, then we do the maid's job also. We do everything. Everything we do. At the end of the day, what happens? We're still listening. This one said this about me, that one said this about me, my mother-in-law doesn't like me, my father-in-law doesn't like my sister. We're listening to that also. Who is better? I think, I don't know. Personally, I think that era was much better because we were so protected. And if I was given the option of sitting home and studying from my father and my husband, I would choose that. Thanks, but I would choose that.
In fact, they were called Stri Dhan.
Yes.
स्त्री को स्त्री धन बोला जाता था, and I was hearing in a lecture that आप अपने धन को बस में रख के भेजते हो या अपने बहुत important documents को do you keep it out in the open? Why? वो वापस आएगा आपके पास? कभी भी नहीं आएगा. If you keep some धन outside, उसके साथ क्या होगा? नोच लेंगे उसको सब. उसी तरह स्त्री is like a धन, तो उसको तो बिल्कुल protect करके रखना है. But you know, only after reading the Bhagavatam am I really understanding what kind of a dhan a stree is, because
Absolutely.
progeny is such an important part of this world, and exploited women are giving birth to Varna Sankara. We are not getting good quality children because the women are
Forget
exploited.
about Varna Shankara. Let's talk about these test tube babies and
Oh my God.
surrogacy, and we don't even know what lineage, we don't even know what genes, what karmas. You don't know what the child is coming with. You know, you just don't know what's happening. Then this sperm bank, oh my God, you just go and then buy sperm. You don't even know what that person is about. I mean, this is Kali Yuga, I tell you. This is Kali Yuga. This is totally Kali Yuga. That's why we are all born Shudras. There's no, you have to become a Brahmana. You have to purify yourself. You have to come to that level. So again, like going back to being grateful to Srila Prabhupada is so important. Because otherwise we would also be just sense gratification. I mean, I know how I was I was just going from one kitty party to the other, or from one late night to the other late night. And it was just a miserable life. It was an empty life. But now I love my life now. I love my life. And in fact, if someone just leaves me alone, I'm even more happy because I have my Bhagavatam, I have my Chaitanya Charitamrita, and I have my Birhad Bhagavatamrita. These are the three jewels of my life. I don't want anything else. I'm so happy to be sheltered and to be at home. I don't want to go out anywhere. So this Stri Dhan is, who considers us a Stri Dhan now? No, of course, we are very cherished. I am lucky, I should say. I should not say anything. I have a husband who's a devotee who does cherish me as a devotee wife, and yes, very sheltered and everything. But if we talk about others, how much time is spent out of the house? You know, so when we say less intelligent, it's only in reference to the scriptures about how much you know spiritual knowledge. And we are not talking about material knowledge at all, because material knowledge is considered avidya. It's not considered knowledge, right? It's avidya. It's not vidya.
Mataji, at the soul level, it doesn't even matter, right? Because, you know, I think everything, whether it's a Brahmana, Vaishya, you know, whatever classifications, the Varnashram, or, you know, when you're talking about American, Indian, it is all associated with, or man or woman for that matter. It's just associated with the body. So the point that you made, the moment we, you know, elevate ourselves above this level, it's just a Vaishnava or a Vaishnavi then.
Yes. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. It doesn't matter. You're no longer a Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, a Kshatriya. You're a man or a woman. You're a Vaishnava. It is true. So therefore, bodily identification should be reduced as much as possible. We only are using this body, this gross body and this subtle body, so that because without that we cannot do anything in the material world. No? Our soul has not yet achieved its swarupa, its constitution position. We don't have a constitutional position yet. So we're using this body and the subtle body as a vehicle to achieve our goal. So whatever we need to do with our gross body and subtle body, we have to keep ourselves strong and healthy so that we progress in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, no, there is no body consciousness. That's why there is no body consciousness. All these designations, all this, even racism, should not be there. But it is there. Even in ISKCON, it's there. There is racism, there is casteism, maybe not casteism, but then there'll be some kind of, region. Oh, you're from there, I'm from here, I will stay together too. Because we still somewhere in body consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada, once Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, who's of course left his body now, many years ago, he is a African-bodied sannyasi. He went to Srila Prabhupada and he said, Srila Prabhupada, there is racism in ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada said, yes, there is. But there are two people at fault. The first person who is showing it, racism. And the second person who is experiencing it, saying that it is racism. Because both are on bodily concept. Both are on body identification. The person who is experiencing is also taking it as a bodily concept. So you have to elevate yourself from that. Amanina vanadena. Don't expect respect, but give respect to everyone. So if you go into Shikshashtakam very deeply, it's all about elevating your consciousness out of the gross and subtle and going into the transcendental, into the soul, the soul, the true nature. Yeah. Anyone else wants to add anything? Subtract anything? I think we should stop. We've already gone past time. We can stop for now.
Thank you so much for that manthan on screen.
Much needed manthan.
Yeah, it was required. Yeah.
Yes, we all need to be reminded again and again about this. Yeah, so we need to, first of all, main thing is we need to stop feeling victimized. मुझे ऐसा बोल दिया, मुझे. Do you know how intelligent I am? Nahi, Baba. No, we can only call the Goswamis, the Acharyas as intelligent. We're still not intelligent. We still have a lot to know. Yeah. So, what is the true definition of liberation? Is we are not the body, we are the soul. And please get attached to your beads, get attached to your holy names. Only that can liberate you. And Nityanand Trayodasi is coming up this weekend. So we can all pray to Lord Nityananda, who's the Guru Tattva, that he allows us to approach Lord Chaitanya, who then gives us Krishna Prem. So do all you can to please Lord Nityananda, so that because he is very, very merciful. You ask him just a little and he'll give it to you. So ask him to give you attachment to the holy names, and miracles will happen. Surely miracles will happen. Yeah. So
Thank
yeah.
you.
So anything else? Anyone? Anu, you want to add anything? Yes, Anu?
Nothing needs to be added. I'm lost in the thoughts of whatever you have said, and I would say that I completely believe in this philosophy. I have no questions at all. No questions. I have complete faith on scriptures and whatever you say.
Yeah. That's nice.
Because if it is written there, there must be some logic, because those who have written must have done deep study deep analysis to write it, so that it falls true even today.
Yes, but sometimes just accepting it is good. But then you should know the reason also, so that if someone asks you, you should know how to answer it.
How to answer it.
Especially supposing it's your own family or your child. Because I remember I used to ask my mother a lot of questions. And she used to say, bas, Shastra mein wahi hai, bas. Wahi likha hai. I said, but explain. There should be a reason. I said, nahi, aise hi hota hai. There's no answer to all this. So I used to get very hassled by that. But then I found out that whatever questions I had, Srila Prabhupada had an answer to it through his purports. Somewhere or the other, if you Google on Vanipedia, you will find answers to your questions. And some things are taken out of context also. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada writes something in the purport, but it's taken out of context. So you should also understand what is the context he's saying that in. For example, this less intelligent women. All in context to spiritual knowledge. So you should understand what is the context. So then if someone asks you, they say, okay, I know you've been reading these and attending these classes. What is the reason? Yeah. Faith is one thing, but understanding it logically is also necessary, so that you can pass it on to others who probably don't have, don't want to blindly follow, which is true. You should ask. You should ask questions. Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita is all about questions and answers. So we are allowed. Yeah. Archana Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा।
हरि बोल।
अभी आपने जो भी कहा ना वो मुझे सब परफेक्ट लगा, जो भी स्क्रिप्चर में है और जो अभी आपने सब कहा वो एकदम परफेक्ट है, क्योंकि स्त्री भगवान ने बनाई इस तरह से, जैसे आपने बोला कि प्रभु जी सब छोड़ के जा सकते, लेकिन कोई स्त्री ये सब छोड़ के जा नहीं सकती, घर के सब बच्चे ये सब छोड़ के स्त्री जा नहीं सकती। और जो शेल्टर चाहिए जैसे पापा से, हस्बैंड से, वो अगर उन्हें मिल रहा है तो घर पे बैठ के अगर ये सब रीड करे और इसमें अगर नॉलेज वो कर सकती है तो इट्स गुड।
Correct. Absolutely.
Totally agree with you.
Absolutely. The women's liberation is not about being independent from worldly things or family. Women's liberation is being independent or dependent on Krishna. So in ISKCON, what is women's liberation? Being dependent on Krishna. That is true women's liberation, because we are all following Srimati Radhika. Whatever she does is for Krishna. So that is women's liberation. Not कि I can live on my own, I am independent, मैं घर छोड़ के जा रही हूँ.
एक्चुअली हमारे आपने जैसे कहा कि मैंने काफी सारी मेरी फ्रेंड्स देखी है. जब से मैं ये इस्कॉन मैंने ज्वाइन किया है, तब से मैंने किटी पार्टी एंड ऑल सब छोड़ दिया. पहले मैं जाती थी क्योंकि तभी पता ही नहीं था, अज्ञान था सब. लेकिन मैं मेरे जब भी फ्रेंड्स को समझाती हूँ, वो लोग मुझे पूछते हैं, हमारे पूरे बिल्डिंग का किटी है, दे आर ऑलवेज आस्किंग मी, अर्चना आप ज्वाइन करो ज्वाइन करो. तो मैं कभी उनको अगर ये बोलती हूँ कि हम इस तरह से जाएंगे, हम लोग को डेली एक बार चैंटिंग करनी, और अभी मुझे वो टॉक में इंटरेस्ट भी नहीं रहता है. रादर देन अगर स्पिरिचुअल टॉक होता है कि कहाँ पे भी अगर भगवान कृष्ण के बारे में कुछ बोलते हैं, भागवतम के बारे में, भगवत गीता के बारे में, तो आई एम इंटरेस्टेड इन दैट फ्रेंड्स एंड ऑल. नहीं तो मुझे उसमें कुछ इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. दिस इज बिकॉज ओनली ऑफ इसको जब से ज्वाइन और जब से मैं माला करने लगी हूँ, तब से ये सब मुझे चीजें अच्छी लगती है. और मैं अगर मैं फ्रेंड्स को बताने जाती हूँ कि ये हमें करना है, वी हैव टू डू दिस, हमें यहाँ से दुखल से बाहर निकलना है, अगेन नहीं आना है इसमें, तो वो लोग बोलते हैं अर्चना ये थोड़ी ना होता है, हम यहाँ आए मजाक करने के लिए, वी टू एंजॉय पार्टीज, वेयर साड़ीज, क्लिक फोटोज एंड ऑल, हम लोग इसके लिए यहाँ पे है. Not हाँ ऐसे.
And then what is the guarantee that next life you will get the same life? There's no guarantee.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee that the human life also. Who knows? Who knows? है ना?
That's true.
So,
On that,
दुर्लभ मानुष्य जन्म.
yeah, we all have to surrender unto Lotus Krishna's feet. कृष्णा को हमें सेंटर ऑफ लाइफ रखना चाहिए अपने खुद के, ताकि जो भी मैं कर रही हूँ सब कृष्णार्पणमस्तु. जो भी मेरे से हो रहा है मैं कर रही हूँ कृष्ण भगवान के लिए. खाना बनाना, लोगों से बातचीत करना, कुछ समझाना है तो समझाना, लड़कियों को कुछ अच्छा नॉलेज देना, मतलब किड्स को. तो इतना ही पता है कि हम टोटली कृष्णा के लोटस फीट पे सरेंडर होना बहुत जरूरी.
Correct. Very nice. Wonderful. That's a wonderful understanding, and it's you have to protect yourself. बाहरी जो distractions हैं, you have to protect yourself, because Bhakti Lata Beej is still not that strong. It's just fructifying. अभी वो छोटा सा पौधा उग रहा है, so उसको protect करना है. So you have to do everything which gets you closer to Krishna and avoid everything which takes you away from Krishna. Yeah. So that's what you have to do. Yes. Okay. Nothing else. Vinita Mataji. Vinita Uma Mataji. आप कुछ बोले ही नहीं.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी. वैसे तो माता जी सब बिल्कुल करेक्ट है सब कुछ, बट एक चीज मैंने नोटिस करी है, अगर फैमिली में प्रभु जी लोग अगर डिवोटी होते हैं तो पूरी फैमिली उसमें मैंने देखा है कि डिवोटी होती है, बच्चे भी साथ में होते हैं. और अगर माता जी होती हैं और इनिशिएटेड होती है तो पूरी फैमिली डिवोटेड नहीं होती कभी भी. पता नहीं, ये मैं डिफरेंस बहुत टाइम से नोटिस कर रही हूँ. मैंने बहुत फैमिलीज ऐसे देखी है, तो वहां तो पूरा भोग लगना, मंगल आरती वगैरह सब बहुत अच्छे से होता है, लेकिन माता जी होती हैं अकेली, हम जैसे हैं तो पूरी फैमिली हमारी डिवोटेड नहीं होती. ऐसा क्यों होता है?
कहीं ना कहीं हम डरते हैं ना पति से.
हाँ, मे बी.
बच्चे भी डरते हैं पति से.
हाँ,
तो हम ये नहीं चाहते हैं कि वो दुखी हो, और उन्होंने एक बार बोल दिया सो बोल दिया, तो उन्होंने बोला सुबह उठ के करना है तो करना है. बट हम अगर ऐसे बोले तो हमको तो झगड़ा हो जाएगा.
झगड़ा हो जाएगा.
तुमको जो करना है करो, मुझे अकेला छोड़ दो, है ना. सो देयरफॉर जब दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, जब प्रभु आते हैं ना मूवमेंट में, तो पूरा घर बिल्कुल सब लाइन पे आ जाते हैं.
हाँ जी.
सब लाइन पे आ जाते हैं, बच्चे लाइन पे आ जाते हैं. कभी कभी आई मीन आई केम फर्स्ट इनटू केसी, फिर प्रभु आए, बट कभी कभी मुझे भी डांट पड़ जाती है. बोलते नहीं क्या कर रहे हो, चलो आरती करनी है. देन सडनली हिल से शाम को आरती करेंगे. फिर सो एक्चुअली देखा जाए तो पूरा अपना he does शालिग्राम पूजा every day. We do आरती in the morning, we do पूजा in the evening, we do everything. But होता क्या है, वो बस आके खड़े हो जाते हैं, वो करते हैं, जाते हैं. तैयारी मैं करती हूँ, सफाई भी मैं करती हूँ. So it's very easy for him. It's actually, I'm not complaining, I love it. But it's very easy for him. कभी-कभी मुझे गुस्सा आता है, especially जब मेरे chums आ रहे होते हैं ना, periods आ रहे होते हैं, तो तब गुस्सा आता है कि because 2-3 दिन पहले गुस्सा आना शुरू हो जाता है ना, तो वो कुछ करते ही नहीं है. वो सुबह उठते हैं, जपा करते हैं, फिर बैठे रहते हैं, कुछ पढ़ रहे होते हैं, भागवतम या चैतन्य चरितामृत. तब तक मैं पूरा आरती की थाल और पूजा सामग्री सब मैं रेडी करती हूँ, फिर उनको बोलती हूँ, तो फिर वो आते हैं, फिर अपना पूरा अभिषेक एंड शालिग्राम पूजा सब करते हैं, फिर टाटा बाय बाय सब ऐसे छोड़ के गॉन, has to go get ready. And फिर मैं पूरी सफाई करती हूँ, then I take out everything, I wash everything, polish everything, keep it inside. भोगा बनाती हूँ, भोगा देती हूँ, फिर प्रसादम निकाल के फिर उनको देती हूँ. बस वो आते हैं, बैठते हैं, खाते हैं, जाते हैं.
Right.
So it is very easy.
Yes.
It is very easy. But the thing is, men bring discipline in the family.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say, that men bring discipline in the family.
Right.
So, yes, I'm also disciplined. But मुझे भी डर है ना कि कहीं पति से डांट ना पड़ जाए. तो बच्चों को भी यही है. अगर if my Prabhu is traveling, तो Shaurya instead of 5 o'clock he'll get up maybe a little half an hour later जपा करने. मगर अगर पापा हैं तो 5 बजे अलार्म बजेगा और 5 बजे वो उठेगा और 5 बजे वो जपा करेगा. बट अगर मम्मा है सिर्फ तो फिर वो 5 का 6 बज जाता है, 6 का 6:30 बज जाता है. मम्मी बोलती है चलो कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, किया ना जपा. So yeah, so one thing I heard from a very senior devotee when I was into the movement, and मेरे प्रभु का तो वो कहीं पे भी वो ही नहीं था कि वो ऐसा कुछ करेंगे भी. वो तो क्लासेस भी नहीं आते थे, प्रोग्राम्स भी मे बी साल में एक बार आते थे. नो इंटरेस्ट, नथिंग, ना सुनते थे ना कुछ, नथिंग नथिंग नथिंग. और मेरी हो गई थी 2-3 साल. And I all wanted initiation, and I was like कि क्या होगा. And then I got to know that Guru Maharaj will only give if both husband and wife initiation together. तो मेरा रोना शुरू क्योंकि कोई वो ही नहीं था. There was no signs of my Prabhu coming into bhakti at all. So once a very senior devotee, he said, fall at the feet of Krishna and cry and pray and cry कि please मेरे पति को भक्त बना दो. और मैं सच में रोना शुरू हो गया था मेरा. I would fall and I would cry and I would beg, beg. And lo and behold, 2 साल में दोनों का initiation हो गया एक साथ. In 2 years, he started coming for classes. He met Guru Maharaj. He picked up the beads. He went straight to 16 rounds. He, it was so fast that because I was already there for 3 years, so 5 साल में थे, and he was even though only for 2 years, they said नहीं दोनों का साथ में कर देते हैं. That's how it happened. That's how it happened. So if you want something, there's only Krishna who can do it.
Yes.
No one else can do it for you. No one. But you need to beg and you need to cry. You need not like Krishna, please, please, kuch karo na. No, you need to beg. You need to beg. You need to beg, cry, hoga. Definitely hoga. Definitely hoga. And there's another advantage also, because whatever the husband does, half of that merit comes to you. So if he is chanting 16 rounds, I get 8. So mere 16 or unke 8. I get more rounds. That's how it is.
But it is vice
That's
versa,
all.
माता जी. अगर हम करते हैं तो हमारा भी जाता है, no? Okay.
No, no.
Why it is so?
Unless you are doing a round specially for him.
Okay.
कि अगर आप 2 राउंड कर रहे हो स्पेशली कि this is for my husband, like I do 2 rounds, like I do 2 rounds for my mother, 2 rounds for my father, both of them have passed, they're no longer in this world, and I do 2 rounds for my elder one because he doesn't chant. So उनके नाम से मैं दे देती हूँ. I don't want it to myself, but I give it to them wherever they are, for my father and mother, wherever they are, let them get the sukriti. So I do that for them, and I do 2 rounds for my son also. So unless and until you're not doing that, nahi hota. But all those Matajis over here whose husbands are initiated or not initiated, but they're chanting 16 rounds or how many other rounds, half goes to the wife automatically. उनको मिल रही है बैठे बैठे. So nice, no?
Yes.
So we're not so less intelligent after all. No? We're very lucky. So it's all just Krishna's leelas, Eventually, sab aa hi jate hain. They will come. You're looking at it now. Maybe in another 2 years you'll say, Mataji, my husband's also into it. Who knows? Because your association will also give him that bhakti lata beach, right? Especially now you're initiated, so you have planted it in his heart. And they are all eating prasadam. Prasadam makes a big role, plays a big role. So Bhakti Lata Beej is already planted in their heart. So somewhere down the line they will. Don't worry. Hoga. Okay, so let's stop now. Otherwise we'll just keep talking and talking and talking. Okay, so let's श्रीमद् भागवतम की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll meet next week and